Well, just about 1 o'clock, we're going to get started today. So, week two of my 12-week series, which I'm calling the webinar. And what I like to talk about on these shows is multifamily brokerage, referrals, how they relate to each other, and package it all up with how EXP is allowing these referrals and multifamily brokerages to really scale kind of across the country even. So I like to start off a little bit about my story and kind of where I came from. So really, not unlike most of you, I am I have started in the real estate business in 1994. So if you do some math, that gives me almost 28 years in this racket, and really loving every minute of it. And so I was really young. I was 20 years old when I got licensed, and the growing up, I was kind of around real estate. My dad was kind of always dabbling and investing in different properties, apartments and commercial properties and whatnot. My uncles, in fact, were all janitors. And, if you know anything about the multifamily market in the city of Chicago, a lot of the owners, some of them have retired since, but a lot of the owners, they all started as janitors and started buying buildings as they kind of grew, and it was what they knew. So they were basically buying a job. Little did they know that those jobs would turn into a hell of investments. And we all know where the multifamily market is today in Chicago. So it's been a great investment for them. And that was what I saw growing up. I helped them out in their buildings. I understood the operation of a building. I understand how to talk to tenants and deal with tenants. And I felt like that might be a really good niche for me getting into the business. I wanted to, at the end of the day, really run my own thing, have my own business. And I thought that the best vehicle to do that was to get a real estate license and start selling real estate. So that's really what I did. And I didn't really know it at the time, but looking back, I had a business plan. I, in fact, had a business plan. And the business plan was simple. It was sell some real estate, make some commissions, buy a building. Sell some real estate, make some commissions, buy a building. Build that portfolio, refinance, sell, flip. When you get into that business, you realize a couple things. You realize that the pool of people is fairly small. A lot of the same players you start to hear about when you're on the brokerage end, you tend to call on the same investors and same people that owned a lot of the buildings, especially when you're dealing with the bigger buildings. And then you get into the smaller 2 to 4 unit buildings, and that lends itself really well to investors. It lends itself to people who want to buy, live in one unit, rent the others out, kind of live for free, so to speak. And that was the model that I took. I made some deals, I made some commissions, I went out and I bought a building. And I turned those, over time. Really, I wish I would have kept a couple of them. Looking back, hindsight's 2020. But at 20, 22, 24 years old, what the hell do you know? You don't know anything. And you definitely don't know what you don't know, that's for sure. But so when I started getting into that business, I started looking at wholesaling as well and flipping contracts and putting a deal under contract and then shopping it out to one of my buyers or some other people that I happen to know that are looking for deals. So it's an exciting business to be a part of. It's an exciting time. It was an exciting time for me being a young agent and a young broker, and had all sorts of aspirations to start my own brokerage and stuff like that, which I did. And but I felt like the multifamily space was it was very lucrative, it was very profitable, and it was an easy conversation, which is key, because one of the pillars of real estate sales and being in the real estate business is lead generation. And you have to go out and you have to get business and find business. And how do you do that, or where do you do that? Back in the mid to late 90s, they didn't have all these lead generation platforms and online leads and Zillows and all this stuff. So you kind of had to knock on doors and make phone calls. And the easiest phone call I felt to make was talking to an investor, because an investor always kind of has real estate on his mind. calling on single family homes and residences and homeowners, they're not selling every day. So, timing is everything, nurture is everything. Whereas when you're dealing with multifamily people and investors and whatnot, it's a business for them. And they're very, very interested to talk, tell you what they've got going on, what they've sold, what they bought, what they're looking for. And, there were really two ways that I went about prospecting multifamily properties. And in fact, if you hang with me throughout my presentation, at the end of the presentation, I'll send you guys my two scripts that I use for multifamily prospecting. And the first script is assuming you have the person's name, right? Whether you get that from a tax record or whatnot, all you're really trying to do is to get in touch with the person, get in touch with the decision owner, and have a conversation. And a lot of times those conversations are really, really easy to have because, like I said, they like talking about what they got. They like patting themselves on the back a little bit. They like saying, oh, I've owned that for a long time and I bought it for this and I got a great deal and all that kind of stuff. I'm always looking. And, that's the point when you start calling on some of these guys. Back in the early 90s, mid 90s, we were calling for rent ads from the newspaper. And from there, you really didn't know who you were calling. You may get a janitor, you may get our manager, you may get the owner. But a lot of times when you see those really kind of generic ads and, kind of an obscure phone number, not like a business looking phone number, you get the owner. And I'll tell we all like a story. I'm going to tell you a success story of mine that I had way back in, let's say, 1995, 96. I was hitting the phones and I was calling the for rent ads, and I called a guy. And my line at the time was basically, do you want to buy any more property? And like every investor, the canned response is, I'm always looking for a good deal. I'm always looking. So I made an appointment. That's what we do. We get on the phone, we make the phone call, we engage in a conversation, we get to an appointment. So I met with this guy and he had another business going on. And when I walked in, I went to introduce myself and he stopped me right away. And he says, my dad knows who you are. He says, trust you and do whatever you say. So obviously I felt great about that. And, it was real kind of feather in my cap. But the point of the whole thing was that he was sincerely looking for more deals. So what ended up happening is I ended up selling him a building. I sold him a 6-unit apartment building. And from then on, we ended up doing 6 deals together over 18 months. And the point of the story is, number one, you never know where that phone call will lead and where that for rent ad sign call or ad call will lead you. But a multifamily owner and investor is worth much more than just one deal. It's a stepping stone to potentially not only more deals for them, but when you start impressing people, you are going to get referrals from those people. And they're going to turn you on to some of their friends and their buddies. And, hopefully, the whole idea is to build that database and to build your people and your clientele so that you're the go-to person when it comes to multifamily property. And, multifamily at the end of the day is a niche, right? It's a niche that I've chosen. Some people choose land. Some people chose condos. Some people choose single family homes. Whatever that niche is, I mean, it's all about the niche and becoming that expert go-to advisor in that niche. And when you're known for that niche in the marketplace and within your sphere of influence and your current and past clients, you will start to see those referrals coming. And it's a major, major critical part of every successful real estate agent or broker's business is referrals. We can't rely on referrals, but as a pillar, it's major. And how do you get referrals? Ideally, there are 2 ways that you're going to be getting referrals. Number one, and first and foremost, you need to be giving exceptional service to your client and to your customers. And by delivering that exceptional service, you're going to stand out, you're going to perform, you're going to have a good review, if you will, and hopefully a customer for life. And the better that you do and the more value that you offer to that customer or client, the more likely they're going to be willing to refer you or talk about you and that particular transaction or you as a professional to their circle of people. So that's number one. You must give exceptional service and deliver that exceptional service and value every single time. Number two, you got to ask. You just got to ask the question. You stay in touch with your sphere of influence, your past clients. You're constantly engaging with your current clients and asking for the business. And you ask, are you, I'm so glad that we were able to put this transaction together. Looks like it's going to be a great deal for you. I'm glad that you're happy. Is there anyone else that that's looking to do something like this, or doing anything else in the real estate space that I can help out with? And you'd be surprised. People like to help people. And that's just kind of, we're humans. We like that. We like to be able to, we like to be the source for somebody and the resource to somebody and to be able to help out. And asking the question, asking for the business is number two. That's just what you kind of got to do. So, now I'm gonna kind of pivot a little bit and talk about referrals in particular. So there's three types of referrals in the real estate space, really across business, but we're going to talk about three specifically in the real estate space. So number one, I touched on, it's the client to you. The client is going to refer you other business. So that's number one. Number two, and it's going to go back to niche, is agent to agent. So with regards to your niche, if you're a multifamily broker or agent like I am, and that's kind of like your little space, you want to become known within your, within your peers, within your market as the multifamily agent to go to. So that when some of these residential agents or other agents that maybe are doing other asset classes or whatnot, they're going to want a resource to refer their business to, and you vice versa. And this is an amazing way to build relationships and to build friendships within the business to help each other and ultimately add value to the client. Because that's, and it goes back to the two things. The number one thing, you want to provide exceptional value to your client and service every single time. And sometimes that means referring agents, referring their deal to another agent, which we may call our partner agent. We're all partners. We all want to be partners in this business together. The worst thing that you can have as a real estate agent or real estate broker is a scarcity mindset. You want to have an abundance mindset. And we all know, I'm not going to get into the weeds on the difference between scarcity and abundance, but the point is that by having an abundance mindset, you're not trying to hoard everything. You're not trying to be everything to everyone. And for the purpose of holding the commission and making all the money and saving all the money, to give away 20, 25, 30% of a deal to another agent so that you can satisfy and deliver exceptional service to your client, it's going to be well worth it in the end, because the client's going to get exceptional service. You're going to have a friend and potentially a partner down the road with another agent and a resource. And now you're building your team all of a sudden. And, teams are it's a hot topic right now. Teams, building real estate teams. I believe that there's a new team. I believe that the current team out there, the team model is broken. The traditional team model is broken. And there's something called that we try to call the modern team. And by partnering with other agents, you are able to build this modern team. And again, the end goal there is to provide exceptional service to your people and to your clientele. So number one agent referral is, or I should say, number one referral source is client or customer to agent. Number two agent referral source is agent to agent. And number three referral source is agent to company, or referring an agent to your company, recruiting an agent to your company, attracting an agent to your team, those type of referrals. And those type of referrals are very, very interesting. And not all brokerages are created equal, right? Everybody's got a different system, a different model, a different business model, different splits, different offerings and technology and value. And the companies, there are certain companies out there that put a high value on what we call agent attraction or recruiting agents, and there are some companies out there that put zero value. Just like there's some agents out there that have no business or no interest in getting referrals from agents and referring agents to their company, or there's some agents that really see the value in that, depending on the company that they're aligned with, could potentially be a very lucrative business. Now, in my particular business, I'm aligned with a company called eXp Realty, and eXp Realty sets themselves apart by the offering and by the business model that aligns all of the agents and gives a pretty significant incentive to grow the company by referring other agents from other companies to eXp Realty and eXp Commercial. And I'm not going to go too deep into the business model, but what I will do just in a few minutes. I appreciate everybody hanging in there with me. I hope that some of the chatter that I've been offering is kind of giving you some sort of ideas on what to do as far as niches and multifamily and referrals and how to get those. But I want to share a video with you. A buddy of mine, his name is Aaron. He's out on the West Coast, and he really has a very clear way of explaining the eXp business model and how referring agents is an additional pillar of income that is really setting the stage for agents joining eXp, and why the growth has been so phenomenal, all organically. Just to give you a little tiny snapshot, in September of 2019, when I joined the company, there were 19,000 agents. Today, I think we're hitting 65,000 in 18 or 19 countries. So there's clearly something going on within the industry. I believe that eXp is at the forefront. And if there's anything that you could pull out of this, the next 17 minutes of this video that I'm going to share, is to look a little bit differently and to look how partnering with agents across the country and quite frankly across the world can scale your business and really provide exceptional value to the customer and client. Because again, that's what we're in it for, the customer. We're in it to make money, but we got to deliver exceptional service to the customer and client. So if you bear with me, I'm going to share my screen and get this video going for you. Let's see here.
What I'm going to share with you today literally changed my business, and it changed my life, and it may change yours too. I worked for years as a real estate agent for Christie's International Real Estate here in Manhattan Beach, California, and I was extraordinarily happy there. I loved it. I ran a great business, and I still do, selling about 50 homes per year with an average sales price of about $1 million per home. So one day, a friend of mine, Michelle, who's an agent out in Michigan, gives me a call and asked me to watch a presentation and evaluate a brokerage model that she was participating in. Now, I had zero intention of changing companies. In fact, I couldn't have been happier with where I was at, but I love learning new things, so I was happy to take a look at it. What I saw changed everything I had learned and known about the real estate industry in my 18 years as a real estate agent and broker. I learned that there's a massive disruption occurring today in the real estate industry. This disruption is a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate brokerage called eXp Realty. I was totally blown away by what I saw. So I brought the information on this new real estate model to a friend of mine within my company, a guy named Dave Caskey. I value his opinion because Dave leads one of the most successful real estate teams in the country, doing over $300 million in sales volume annually. Dave took a look at the model and he was totally blown away too. So what we both saw was how innovative and radically different this model was compared to any company we'd ever seen before. In fact, once we saw it, we really couldn't unsee it. And we both decided to make the switch over to eXp Realty. So the question is this: what did a high-producing agent like myself and an extraordinarily successful team leader like Dave, what did we both see that literally compelled us to join this revolutionary company? Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with a little bit of background. Industries are transformed when disruptive technologies are introduced. Blockbuster is a perfect example. Blockbuster Video was a massive $5 billion company with over 9,000 brick and mortar stores. They completely dominated their industry, right? Netflix had no stores, but they came along with streaming video, and in a few short years, they put Blockbuster out of business. The same thing happened with the travel industry. Do you remember going to your travel agent to book a vacation or a cruise? Not anymore. Travelocity, Hotels.com, and all the travel sites, they changed all that. The same thing happened with the taxi industry and Uber, and it happened in the hotel and accommodation industry with Airbnb. Airbnb doesn't own any hotel rooms. They're a cloud-based company. But maybe the most obvious example of industry disruption for most of us today is the retail industry and Amazon. Driven real estate company that has brought the most innovative changes we've seen in the real estate industry in over 100 years. The old traditional real estate brokerage model typically works like this. There's a big international company at the top, Remax, Keller Williams, Century 21, Sotheby's. Then they divide the country into regions. Okay, so then there's franchises and broker owners, and then they have to hire managers and recruiters and office staff. And they have these big, fancy, expensive offices, and they're filled with copiers and phones and internet, and they have utilities to pay for, and on and on and on and on. There's so many expenses. And the agent is at the bottom of this massive pile of salaries and expenses, and the agent has to pay for all that with your hard-earned commissions. It's a top-heavy model, and it's just not sustainable. eXp Realty is the new model. It's a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate company that eliminates costly commercial office space because it's all in the cloud. And it eliminates millions of dollars of bloated expenses. All that freed up money now goes back to making the agents' lives and businesses better in two major ways. The first is that it's invested in providing the best agent business systems on the planet. And the second is that it puts more money back into the agent's pocket. That's you. At eXp, the agent is not at the bottom like the old model. The agent is at the top, because we actually share in the ownership of the company. And we're backed directly by a multi-billion-dollar international tech company. When I worked for Christie's, I didn't own the company. In fact, when I worked for my old brokerage, and then I was exposed to eXp's innovative model of doing business, I realized that as long as I was working for my old company, it was like I was working for a Blockbuster store. It was really no different. And now by working with eXp, it ensures not only that you have a future in real estate, but that your future will be bright. Now, there's three major components that make eXp the model of the future. Okay, the first is our cloud office. It's a virtual office that allows you to work from anywhere. eXp World is a cloud campus that allows you to attend meetings and classes and collaborate with other agents. Now, if you've got a question for the broker, all you do is you walk into the office and ask. I used to have to call my broker, leave a voicemail, send a text, wait to get an answer. And now the level of support I get is like nothing I've ever experienced before. It's astonishing. What if you have a question about a commission check? Same thing, just go to accounting and you take care of it. Want to attend a class? There's over 50 hours per week of live education. And it covers tips on sales and listings. It covers lead generation, social media, CRM tools, and so much more. Let me ask you a question. How much education does your current company offer you? Because the amount of education at eXp, it's extraordinary. So every agent at eXp gets the most powerful CRM and lead generation platform available today. It's called KV Core. Now, non-eXp agents pay $600 per month for this service, over $7,000 per year. This system, it sends buyer and seller leads right to your phone. People that want to buy now. People that want to sell now. And KV Core is included for every EXP agent as part of their $85 monthly fee. KV Core is the industry-leading system that provides you with a personalized IDX website, CRM, email and text campaigns, squeeze pages, landing pages, and so much more. You also get SkySlope. Now, SkySlope is the top transaction management program available today. SkySlope allows every agent to manage their business in an all-in-one paperless system that helps you effortlessly stay organized with your transactions. What about marketing collateral? Well, the EXP Marketing Center has over 5,000 pieces to choose from. Everything you could ever want, whether you need a quick postcard, all the way up to a full presentation, it's all there for you. Basically, everything an agent needs to run an efficient, profitable business is provided for you. Now, if you do want to still go to a physical office, we've got you covered. You don't have to give up your office. Every EXP agent gets a Regis membership, so you can use any one of their thousands of flexible workspaces all over the country. The Regis spaces are beautiful. They're stocked with coffee and tea. There's receptionists there. You can rent a conference room to meet clients. They're really, really spectacular. And it's also a great referral source, just by meeting and networking with other business professionals that also use the Regis shared workspaces. Okay, so the first major component to EXP is our cloud office, right? The second is the equity opportunities. Our agents have ownership in the company as stockholders. When I worked for Christie's, or if you work for Remax or Sotheby's or Keller Williams, you don't own the company. At EXP, we own the company together. EXP is a publicly traded, multi-billion-dollar company with zero debt. We're traded on the NASDAQ with Apple and Google and all the other big tech companies, and our ticker symbol is EXPI. When you sell your first home each year, you get stock in the company. When you reach your commission cap, you get stock in the company. When an agent you brought to the company sells their first home, you get stock. And if you're a top producer, we call it an icon agent, you can get up to $16,000. Your entire cap that you've paid to the company, you can get that back to you in the form of stock. There's even an agent equity program. It's totally optional, but it's amazing, where you can take 5% of your commission check and you can purchase stock at a 10% discount. Now, I've got a question for you. What do you think your financial advisor would tell you about buying stock at a 10% discount the day you buy it? I think they'd say it's a good thing, don't you? Okay, the third major component of EXP is their revenue share plan. Now, revenue share is very different from profit share, which is the Keller Williams model. Because after Keller Williams pays all of their expenses, if there's no profit, how much is there to share? Nothing. Revenue share, however, comes directly off the top. So when you sponsor an agent to join EXP and they sell a home, you actually get a percentage of that commission. And that percentage comes from the EXP portion of the split, not from the agent's portion. For example, agents you directly sponsor are in your first tier, and you receive 3.5% of their gross commission until they reach their cap of $16,000 company dollars. So the maximum revenue share that you can receive from an agent on your first tier is $2,800 per agent. If you attract 10 capping agents to the company, you earn $2,800 times 10, or $28,000 per year. Now, when you've attracted 5 producing agents into your first tier, it unlocks your tier 2, which are the agents your tier 1 agents attract to the company. So tier 1 agents are the ones that you personally attract. Tier 2 agents are the ones that your tier 1 agents personally attract, and so on and so forth. And it goes down for 7 tiers. Now, from tier 2, you receive 4% of the gross commissions from those agents until they cap, which is a maximum of $3,200 per agent on your tier 2. So you actually receive more compensation from your tier 2 than from your tier 1, because you've taken your eyes off of yourself and put it onto others. It's actually part of our culture within the company that we uplift and support others. It's called compensation for contribution. One team, one goal, one fire. As you attract more agents, you can unlock up to 7 levels or 7 tiers. So when you attract 5 agents to the company, it unlocks tier 2. When you attract 10 agents to the company, it unlocks tier 3, and so on and so forth until you unlock 7 levels. Listen, real estate is not an industry for the faint of heart. Real estate agents are some of the hardest working people out there, and many agents get completely consumed by their business. It's like they're on a spinning hamster wheel, a constant treadmill that they can never get off of. They're constantly searching for their next deal, and they can never ever stop. Well, now with the opportunity to actually gain stock in the company and the opportunity to build some residual income through revenue share, there's finally some tools to give agents a shot of retiring with dignity. I want you to write down a few numbers, okay? The first number is 2.35 million, okay? 2.35 million. The next number is 4%, and the third number is $94,000. So what do these numbers mean? This is what they mean. If you want to retire and you've worked really hard and saved and invested $2.35 million, not easy to do, but if you've done that, most financial advisors will tell you that you can actually take 4% of your investment each year to live on so that you don't erode your principal. Does that make sense? So let me rephrase that. If you have $2.35 million invested in the markets and you take 4% of that per year, you'll have a passive income essentially of $94,000 per year. Now, let's take a look at another way to arrive at that number of $94,000 per year in income through revenue share. With revenue share, if you attract 5 productive agents and those 5 agents do the same and they each attract 5, then you'll have 5 agents in your tier 1 providing you $14,000 and 25 agents in your tier 2 providing you $80,000 for a total of $94,000 in income per year. Now, which is easier, honestly, saving up $2.35 million and investing it, or sharing this information and attracting 5 productive agents? It's actually kind of amazing, isn't it? What if you attracted 10 capping agents and they did the same and they each attracted 10? Even if it took you 5 years to do this, you'd have 10 agents in your tier 1 and you'd have 100 agents in your second tier. Now, if they're all capping agents, that equals $348,000 per year or $29,000 per month income. Again, it's compensation for contribution. Now, let's be totally clear. Are all agents you attract going to be capping agents? No, of course not. And when you attract 10 agents, are they each going to attract 10 more? No. Some will attract 0. Some will attract 8. Some will attract 20. Participating in agent attraction is totally optional. You don't have to do it. You don't have to attract any agents if you don't want to, but it's just really nice to know that if you do have a friend that joins the company because of your recommendation, that you're going to get compensated for that. Listen, there's a whole host of reasons that agents join us at eXp. Some agents come to this amazing company just for the cloud office and the robust business systems so that they can actually sell more homes. Some come for all the amazing education that eXp offers, or the collaboration, or even the stock ownership or the equity awards. And some agents, they just come to eXp for the agent healthcare program, which is amazing. It provides US agents access to innovative and low-cost healthcare choices. And yet others just love the simple, low-cost fee structure, which is the following. Every agent in the company, every agent is on an 80-20 split with a $16,000 annual cap. So once you reach $80,000 in gross commissions, you've reached your $16,000 cap and you go to 100% split with a $250 per transaction fee. After you do 20 transactions at $250 each, you reach what we call icon status. That's when you can receive up to your entire $16,000 cap back that you paid to the company back to you in the form of stock. After that, your transaction fee drops down to $75 per transaction for the rest of the anniversary year. By the way, for agents that work in high-end marketplaces and don't do as many transactions customarily, the other way you can reach icon status and be eligible to earn your entire $16,000 cap back in the form of stock is to earn a gross commission, a total gross commission of $500,000 with at least 10 transactions. Back to the fees. There's a one-time $149 starter fee, which actually includes your first month's cloud brokerage fee. After that, the cloud brokerage fee is $85 per month to pay for all the systems. There's a $25 per transaction broker review fee to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And there's a $40 per transaction risk management fee that caps at $500 per year. You'll never pay more than $500 per year for E&O insurance. And that's it. The growth of this company is extraordinary. We're now at over 50,000 agents and it's growing every day. eXp is the largest independent company on the planet, and it's the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate. We're currently in the US, in Canada, in the UK, in Australia, and we just opened up in a whole host of other countries. We opened in Brazil and India and South Africa and Mexico and Portugal and France, and there's many, many other countries to follow. The growth is astonishing to watch, and the collaboration and support are amazing to experience. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. If you're not sure, share this video with your trusted friends and ask their opinion, just like I did. If you have any further questions, just go to our website at www.explainthemodel.com. There's tons of information there. You can give us a call. You can even schedule a call with me if you'd like. Listen, we're on a mission to support and uplift the industry by supporting and uplifting you. We're changing this industry together. We're one team, one fire. Thank you for your time. I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Okay, so thanks for hanging in there with me on that. And it's a little bit of it's some information to digest. But what I want to kind of close with today is to focus on what they're calling the revenue share and how referring agents to EXP and the partnership available and the equity opportunities available really make us all aligned and incentivize us to collaborate with each other, which is what makes EXP different and sets itself apart from every other real estate brokerage on the planet. You may, the guy sitting next to you at the desk in your office, you may root for him and hope that he does well, and maybe you're going to do some deals together, but you're still not financially aligned. His business really has nothing to do with your business. Where here at EXP, imagine being able to develop a modern team of financially aligned agents across the country and referring business back and forth to each other and benefiting from it. So it's just a different way to look at the business, and it's how the business is changing and why the business is changing. And borderless and that cap that he's talking about is one cap across the country. So what that means is that if you're licensed in multiple states, like I am, you could do deals in multiple states and still only be contributing to that $116,000 cap. So there's a lot of different things that's going on, and the multifamily space is national. There's a lot of money and a lot of investors coming into the Cleveland market, where I'm located currently. And I'm speaking to a lot of agents and investors all across the country. And the community has become very close and very easy to collaborate with. So imagine if there's a financial incentive to collaborate with each other. It really puts a new spin on the entire business. And instead of competing with each other, now we're all of a sudden on the same team. Like Aaron was saying, one big fire, one team, one fire, right? And so it's really been fascinating. It's something that I haven't seen in my 28 years in the business, and I'm extremely excited about it. My team is growing every day, and I'm looking for new agents to partner with. So if any of this resonates with you, whether it's multifamily brokerage, referrals, how EXP ties it all together, let's get on a private call and we'll dig a little deeper. But until then, thank you all for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And I will be sending everybody my 2 scripts as they relate to multifamily prospecting. Have a great day, everybody. We'll catch up with you on next week's show.